never done that at the beginning of an episode, but I just want to do this for the fuck of it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a brand new episode of With a Side of Chaos. This is Patricio, a.k.a. Rocky, and as always, I'm joined by the dude who should be tipped properly every time.
What the fuck did you just do? I said I wasn't going to say the F word, and then on the Bad Bunny concert, now you start doing the fucking noise already? God, salty Aaron. Hi. I put my 2 weeks in, man. I don't know. What the fuck?
But no, welcome to the podcast of It's a Magnifying Glass on Orlando to show the world that we're more than just theme parks. We talk to the creative, the diverse, the talent that gets overlooked because of a mouse. Nothing against him, but there's a lot more stuff here in Florida, in Central Florida, than theme parks. Aaron, you saw me commit acts of domestic terrorism this week, didn't you?
You sure you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I talked to some godfathers of comedy today here in Orlando, and I told them how bad I bombed.
Please tell me you did you want to talk about what I saw? And do you really want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about how bad I bombed this week in all the open mics.
Sure. Okay. So you did a Tuesday night of hard work, and I was proud of you for that. We did a really alternate kind of Tuesday of comedy as well. We went from Grumpy's to Nightshade to the Falcon, and you ate dick at all.
Yes.
How did that feel as a person?
I felt like I found a French fry in my onion rings. I was not happy.
Now, okay. All right. Wait, doesn't that make you happy? You get a little potato with your onions?
No, because here's the thing. When I find an onion ring in my French fries, that makes me happy. It's like, wow, I didn't expect this. I got an onion ring. That's awesome. But when I find a French fry in my onion rings, it's like I specifically asked for onion rings because I did not want the French fries. And for that little French fry to be there, dude, it's a bad feeling for me.
Are you a plate separatist?
I am a plate separatist.
You're a plate separatist.
Yes.
You're like peas on one side, corn on the other, 2 pieces of toast on a separate plate, and then the entree, whatever it is, because we're from the Midwest, let's just say lasagna, and it's bad.
It is. Well, here's the thing, dude. I want them separate because I want to be the one that unifies them together in a holy matrimony of culinary beauty. And then that's when I put it into my mouth.
And that's the opposite of what you did on stage. You divided a room full of people who really didn't need a hate joke. You know what I mean? And then you said after you did it, and the house looked at me, he goes, "You brought this fucking guy?" And I looked back at him. I was like, I am trying to make good impressions on people, and I bring the Nazi.
No, we're not going to tell the joke. We're not going to go into details of the joke. But I said I did one of my most effed up jokes that night.
It's not a joke. You just do it for shock value, and you're an idiot for doing it.
I am.
You're gonna get your ass kicked, and you are not the one in the club who was the biggest that night.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
We booked it the fuck out of there because of your jokes. I high-fived a homie and then left.
Yeah, we booked it from an urban club that night.
Yeah. Don't say urban clubs. It was a club that has an amazing restaurant attached to it, and it's probably one of the nicest places we have to go, and you stigmatize it? Piece of shit tonight,
dude,
man.
I went.
When is Mexican Independence Day again? We need to get you hoorah rah again about we're all unity and shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I messed up big that time, but you know what? I learned some jokes work.
You just need to go work at Gringos Locos and accept what your fate shall.
Wow, bro,
yeah, man.
You're really gonna pull out the Gringos card on me?
You know what? You're a white man. You said to yourself, "I'm a Spanish person who identifies as a white man." That sounds like Gringos Locos in a nutshell to me.
I love that. That was good. That was good. That was
Gringos, come on back. Come on. Give me that sponsorship for at least 6 months of free quesadillas.
Yeah, right? let go of Tom and Dan. You can take us. We'll come in at a quarter of the cost.
A quarter? I'll take 10% of whatever they're making off Dan.
But no, speaking of the comedy, bro, you actually did something really, really cool this week, bro. You want to talk about that?
Sure. I did my first 20-minute spot in front of somebody sort of famous, and that was really cool. Actually, the two of them were great. I opened for Rachel Wolfson from Jackass Forever. She's the only female who's ever been, I don't know, shocked. She's the only Jackass queen. That's what they call her, the Jackass queen. And her boyfriend, Matt Edgar, and they're both comics from LA, and they're hilarious. I opened the show, and it was quite fantastic, if I might say so myself.
I was watching Jackass Forever the day that when you told me about that, and I saw her licking a taser.
Yep. She didn't lick a taser.
It wasn't a taser?
She didn't lick a taser. No, not. Well, I met her. She was not licking tasers.
Okay. Like, I thought that was like a gig. Like, hi, I'm Rachel.
Yeah, you expect her to eat a taser every comedy show. That's amazing. That's like hoping Gallagher will come back and smash watermelons. I was
literally thinking like the Gallagher bit, like right there. You're coming to our show. You better bring a freaking watermelon. I will be upset if I don't see a watermelon.
You know what? I think you should lay off your jokes and just steal Gallagher's. Okay. What do you think? What do you think? Next open mic, smash watermelon?
Well, I mean, I am Mexican, so I do have access to a plethora of watermelons.
Are they seedless?
Some yes, some no.
Okay, excellent. You need to have diversity in your watermelon.
Oh, you totally do. So have the strawberries, have the mangoes, have a good amount of bananas for some odd reason. But at the end of the day, I'm still picking corn.
You know, I watched a documentary the other day. It's called Woodstock 99.
You know what? I've heard about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and the greatest thing that I learned about this documentary is that Limp Bizkit is the biggest douchebags of all time, because they incited the biggest riot in upstate New York that I've ever seen, and all they were doing was playing their music, and I think that's inspiring.
Above all this crazy shit that we've been talking about me bombing, about me offending almost everybody in every room that
you stopped doing the bad joke after I told you to stop doing the bad joke. So I mean, you were fine after that. You just sucked after that.
I totally did. I'm trying to put in our guest name because we're about to bring him in, but I do want to talk about something real quick because
I love our professionalism tonight.
No, we are all over the place. We have an executive person in front of us right now, and we're acting like little kids.
I really hope you're done typing his fucking name in, man.
I am. And before we bring in our guests, I got to talk about the fact that, all the crap that we're talking right here, right now on this show, it's
about unity.
It's about unity. Yeah. You got to mix the mashed potatoes with the corn and the rice, and you believe me, you're going to have a great time.
Have you been setting this up to do food jokes the entire fucking time? If so, I will put in my those 2 weeks.
Dude, I'm about to 86 this shit, and we're going to start a brand new episode.
Damn it!
But no, I gotta say this real quick because of all the fun fart jokes, the great interviews that we've had over the years. It's starting to pay off because early this week, I found out that I got third place in Orlando Magazine for best local podcaster, and that right there was like, what the hell? Yeah. I didn't even know it was nominated.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your win, my dude.
Yeah,
you're up there with. You're up there.
I'm up there with some people.
Some people that are there, and that magazine.
That magazine that's available for $5.99 at your local Barnes & Noble.
That you can go purchase from Barnes & Noble to read. I bet he had to purchase his own issue see his own name.
I did. I totally did. I went on a lunch break to go get some Spanish food, and I stopped off at Barnes & Noble, and I got me my freaking...
I can tell what route you took, and that's Puerto Rican food.
Yeah, it is. So,
see?
Oh, my goodness.
He's a communist.
Wow. Everything that our guest has told us not to do, we've been doing it within our bit. So we're foregoing the intro, and we are bringing in our guest who I've actually known for over a decade, and then we stopped talking for over a decade. And
welcome back.
We're welcoming into studio Jason Shapiro. How you doing, Jason?
Doing all right, guys. How are you?
Where's the applause button?
I don't know.
You know what?
I'll take it.
It's relative-ish.
Sports. Go sports team.
Do you have the McDonald's theme song in there too? We can.
Oh
no, I'm trying to stop the damn.
Well,
thing.
I mean, he's touchy about his French fries and onion rings. So Burger King.
So
he gets an onion ring at Taco.
Although I would go to drive-through and I'd be the guy to order one order of each and then just dump them in the bag and just by luck just have one or the other.
You see, you're a madman.
I know.
I go to Five Guys and just tell them to load the bag with protein. Load the bag, guys.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, in studio we have Jason Shapiro, and I don't know why I keep messing up his name right now, but like I said, I've known Jason for well over a decade. We started off working at the JW Marriott, which is a pretty badass hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward, we're gonna dive into the middle part of it, but in regards to where you are right now, tell us your title and what you do.
Well, I've been named the new executive chef for the Orlando Magic.
My applause.
It's not third place podcast, but
no, it's no third placed podcaster of Orlando in a Barnes and Noble magazine. That's $5.99.
I didn't buy my own book.
That's fine. No. Just bring an autobiography of yourself.
It's still being written.
It's still being perfect.
I'm just gonna record it from here first, and it'll be good.
You know what? A lot of. Let me sit in on a little bit.
We'll go off air.
Yeah. So like I'm looking at your coat right now, and it has the emblem of the Orlando Magic. It has your name, and it has the title that says executive chef. Now, what does that actually mean?
It's are you seeing like in the literal sense?
Yeah.
Or literally it's I service all of the food for the Orlando Magic organization.
Okay.
So from ownership all the way down to trainers.
Oh wow.
Teammates, etc. Yeah. All of them.
So you're the dude who makes sure
I'm the guy.
Fed.
Yeah.
One question, and you don't have to answer it. Is there a one guy who has the dietary? It's like, you don't have to say anything, but you can just go, yep.
You could blink twice and like get away from this question.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
That's awesome.
Like, so it's really, I mean, as you know, I mean, like working through like the hotels and stuff. I mean, we've had guests that have like special requests or dietary restrictions, but working with like a nutritional team, I've never experienced before in my life. So like going this route, there's a lot of things that could be like considered that one guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more of an opportunity to really kind of grow from that experience.
Absolutely. I bet there is just so much uniqueness about the whole organization.
It's crazy. Like plant-based as opposed to like meat protein and all these other facets of culinary world that are now like really open to me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm part of this organization.
So you really do get a sense of diversity through what you encounter and what people want.
Entirely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's like at the end of the day, like there's like the age factor plays in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure that they would love onion rings or French fries all the time. But the training staff is asking like, okay, if we're going to have French fries, let's go ahead and see if we can air fry them or bake them or something like that. So like little things that where like, say like me and you would be working together in the past at JW, we're like, okay, at the pool bar, we're selling French fries by the dozen, by the hour,
just drop them.
Wow. Now it's like, okay, well, how do we do that same kind of thing at an elevated rate with an application of nutritional value for these guys? Yeah.
Like, how much food do you go through per player? Do you think are they beefy guys that eat a lot? I mean, I know what they look like, but do they consume a lot of food for like a single sitting? Or
no, believe it or not, like I thought they would be like, you know, like super crushing food, you know, like we're supposed to eat like 8 to 12 meals a day, apparently, which I didn't know this. And I learned about it like before I even signed on here. It's just like how our metabolism works, especially when you're active, like as an athlete.
Right.
But really these guys are on the court. They come in, they have like their protein shake or like some sort of energy shake. They have a little bit of snack that's also healthy, either store-bought or in-house made. And we're trying to like really make everything in-house.
Right.
And then they have lunch, which is primarily like some sort of fatty protein, like more like a chicken thigh or something like that.
Okay.
And then mixed around with a lean protein where it's like a beef tenderloin or a chicken breast or something like that. A simple starch, complex starch. And then these guys love sauce. So like hot sauce and everything else. But like at the end of the day, like they're like us, you know, they have a balanced meal most of the time, and then they just watch it a little bit closer.
You know, the great thing about my diet is it goes from barbacoa tacos to some other protein in a taco. It's just all tacos.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not even really here. I mean, I'm just a taco stand.
You're just a taco stand.
It's funny. We did a tostones and tostada buffet today.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I went all in.
So let me ask you this: like for their dietary, and I'm sorry for kind of deep diving into this. Does the meals have to be approved through like the team or like a head or like?
Yeah, like menu planning. Like we work with. I'm working with my company to vet all of my recipes, so it's in the database and get all of that nutritional benefits. So really, like my personal library of recipes since we've been apart has grown exponentially when I've worked at like Google and all these other places.
Wait, what?
So I'm working at like 3,000 recipes.
I heard that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
heard
that. We like just kind of adopted best practice and like what works best for the team. So after that vetting for nutritional information, I build a menu out and be like, here's the prospective menu for 2 weeks from now. What do you think?
Holy moly.
And they'll be like, yeah, let's do that. Oh, can you add this? Can we do something instead of this? Can we separate this? Because maybe the guys are on like a 2-a-day, or there's a different, like there's a break. Coach wants them to be off one day or during the week or something like that. So like we can go like heavy starch or something like that. But being like, with attention to detail and being very adaptive for their ask is the best part about it. Where it's like you walk in and be like, here's an action plan. We stick probably about 85 to 90% to it. But there's always that 10% or whatever. Be like, okay, and this is the time to shine for this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy.
Now let's deep dive into how you got into this field, because here's the thing, like when it comes to culinary arts, it's a calling. Like something had to have triggered you like to wanting to get into that.
The money was good. I mean, how do I say it? Like, it was like 15 years old, 16 years old. I needed a summer job. It was in upstate New Jersey. I started off as a dishwasher, where like most chefs get their starting. If you're not going to go to culinary school, you're going to work like a grunt and work your way through the ranks. And it quickly turned into like a summer job and then a job. But it wasn't until I moved to Florida and worked for Disney World that I said, okay, this is my career. It was very much like I got to a crossroads where I follow my art passion and make that my career, or I follow my culinary art passion and make that my career. And it was very clear to me when I stepped foot on JW property. It was like, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
I chose poverty.
Yeah. Right. And I don't want to be a starving artist either. So
I chose both of those things. Like,
I mean, like nicks and cuts. I mean, I'm wearing a bandage right now, but I mean, like all of like the bumps and bruises along the way, it's all just like, I mean, if you've been in the industry, you know it. And like talking about stuff and like the relatability.
Yeah.
Where back in the day was like, we were not the type of people you wanted to be friends with.
Nope.
Not at all. Like all those stigmas now are completely on the flip side. We're the modern day rock stars of social media, TV. We're everywhere.
Oh yeah. No. The evolution of social media surrounding culinary has evolved to a point where like you're mesmerized from what you're seeing on these posts, whether it's a photo of a sirloin steak coming out, or it's a guacamole dish, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Or a picture of Guy Fieri at multiple Rage Against the Machine concerts, I think constitutes under how we view America views chefs nowadays, rather than, I mean, we all felt guilty that when a famous chef died, you know, that's the different stigma, because in the 80s, no one gave a fuck.
No,
not at all.
One. And it was very much like swept under the carpet, where it was just like, it was behind closed doors. You don't see it. You don't talk about it.
Right.
I mean, we can have a panel of all culinary chefs, no matter however long or short their career was in this field.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably say 9 times out of 10, it almost sounds the same.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with comedy. Career bombs, they go into the back and take.
So let me ask you this, Jason. What do you feel was like your inspiration to start cooking?
Was it Pat meeting him at JW?
It was like there's like 1,000 covers at the pool, you know. Really, like it was always been a passion but not like professionally. We always had like dinners with the family. Like everything stopped.
What's your background, if you don't mind me asking? Like your heritage?
I'm a big mixed puppy.
Okay.
I mean, half of my family is Hungarian, and then like coming from Hungary, the other half is mainly Italian.
Mm-hmm.
So every kind of family get together revolved around the table.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
and it just like coincided with everything. Mom and dad worked all the time, so like when I have one little brother, so like growing up, it'd be like, okay, Jason, make sure that we have dinner at least started at a
Mhm.
very, very young age, no matter what I was able to do. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
And then everything all the way to like washing dishes and everything else. It was just like, this is dinner time. This is family time. Put your phones away and don't answer anything else. Now it's like you go out to dinner. That's the first thing that you do is you pull out your phone and take a picture of what you're eating and you share it to the world. You know,
that fad came, right? And every once in a while, I'll find myself taking a picture of a dish, and I was like, I'm not sharing this online.
Yeah,
This
no.
is so I remember because I'm
What
a stoner. I like this meal.
This is good. I'm gonna have to have this again.
Absolutely.
I got to say one thing. One of my favorite spots to go to T is Fogo de Chão.
Yeah.
That is my go-to spot. I've been going there for years with my stepdad, and I love it because of the presentation.
Mhm.
They come to you, they are cutting the meat off the skew, and you're getting it right off from the freaking fire. And it's always, to me, it's been like a staple of culinary beauty and just elegance at the same time.
Yeah.
Now with what you do, now mind you said some cool names. I mean, Orlando Magic. We talked about JW, but then you said a word that
Yeah.
triggered the both of us.
Right.
I heard you say Google. And
Yeah.
my phone didn't go off. So you tell
Mine
me
either.
more.
I was
We were
actually
hearing Alexa in the background, like, "Shut up, Jason."
no, don't do this. No, actually, I got an opportunity to work as a sous chef at Google in New York City.
Oh wow.
So I did it for about 6 months, and I stopped it because I put my personal life ahead of my profession. That was like one of the first times ever. But I wanted to pursue my relationship that I currently have. So I was just like, I don't want to be in a long distance relationship. So
That's fair.
I hung it
Yeah.
up and moved down to Miami.
Damn.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't want to know. I don't know how I wanted to take that.
Well, no,
but go ahead.
I'm going to touch base on that one because I'm kind of going through a similar situation right now because
Mhm.
I've been focusing more on my art, on my broadcasting career, and it has taken a toll on this. But it's like I feel that I'm at the point where if I stop now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck things up. I'm gonna hurt the journey that I'm on right now, and it's not gonna look good. And now I don't know if I say that in the selfish sense or if I'm just, it's a determination. Like, how would you say that? How would you look at that, Aaron?
I was being nice because I didn't know where you were going to take that. So
Right.
I immediately muted my microphone. I think that your passion should be driven considering where you are in society right now.
Mhm.
I think that should, and obviously, what you want to do comes with sacrifice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Jason will tell you the same thing is that if you pursue something and then you need a break to pursue something else, it doesn't mean you give up your career, but you are going to lose footing. That's every time, because you get into a rhythm of doing something and then you take a hiccup and then you try to catch back on stable feet. It doesn't work like that, but you can do it.
Mhm.
That's the whole thing is you need to decide when is the right time to do the things you want to do.
No, Jason, I admire you for what you said right there because like you put your future, you put you put everything on the line because you wanted to follow your heart.
Mhm.
And that right there, I'm going to hit the applause button on that one because that is amazing.
And it's like, I mean, it was like I said, you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some moments in your life where you'd be like, you know what, I need to pull this off. I need to be selfish at this time.
Mhm.
And I thought, I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm a chef. I can really get a job anywhere. If not, like I can just cook literally my ass off and just feed people really high quality food all the time.
So let me ask you this. So with all the places that you've worked with, like what's one where like that stands out the most for you in your history of culinary?
I mean, JW is going to be, it always stands out just from like relationship that I had and like just like the massive amount of culinary knowledge that I really grew up there.
Mhm.
You know, like just working with the caliber of chefs that came in and out of that place. It was, I probably would not be as well versed as a chef if I didn't work there for that long. I mean, I was on property for a decade.
No,
So,
and the JW is no joke. I mean, I worked the pool bar.
Yep.
And it was stressful as hell working in there. And then every now and then, like when I get brought over to banquets,
Yep.
that right there was the beast, because it was you have to prep, 1,000 of this, 500 of that.
Oh yeah.
And now, mind you, as a chef, like you have people under you. How do you control all that and make sure that like what's being delivered is delivered properly?
It's an easy one. You lead from the front. If I mean, there's always that kind of like disconnect that some people have from an executive chef, or work like talking to them, or have that bad or poor experience with an executive chef that's always doing a lot of office hours. And I think with the adaptation of technology today, I'm able to be more focused on working shoulder to shoulder with prepping for 4,000 or 4 people for that matter, and making sure like that high quality food is delivered.
Yeah.
Like knife cuts have to be on point. If we're going to sear fish or like roast a chicken, it's got to be juicy. It's got to be seasoned right. Taste your food, make sure everything is sanitary and safe and quality. There's other chefs that I've trained with that is more like in the back end, where they would be leading from behind. But obviously there's more rungs to the ladder than that. So they relied on other chefs to be like, okay, I'm going to rely on you to lead the charge in this and this caliber and this caliber and this caliber for this small team.
So they micromanage them from the back.
Right.
That's interesting. My culinary experience real short. It's like probably 2 years official fine dining, and the rest of it was grills, diners, things of that nature. But working at Two Chefs, I was cutting potatoes in half. You know what I mean? Like I was a dipshit when it came to the kitchen, and this one chef, I don't know where he's working now, so I don't really feel like name dropping him. You know what I mean? So, but he taught me everything I needed to know for the time frame. But man, I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. I'm not anything. I worked there for 2 years, and I still say I'm not a cook. I'm not a cook. Like I go home and cook for myself. I'm like SpaghettiOs, motherfucker.
I think like as you evolve your career in this arena, if you will, looking back, you understand like key leaders that influenced you more so than like right away. Like hindsight is always 20/20. So it's like now, as soon as you get to a certain upper echelon of your career, you'll be like, oh, I remember working for this guy or this woman, and they really helped me this and this and this and this. And location alone, it was I can rattle off names of people either over me, next to me, or even people that were below me that had a massive amount of skill that I learned from. You know what I mean?
Now, you'd mentioned about the JW being like the stable for you, like kind of like putting you in the mindset to move forward. I got to say the exact same thing, because my only culinary experience at that point was working fast food. Now, mind you, fast food, completely different beast than it is, from what you do. Because like you'll see it on the screen, you're making something that you make like, 30, 60 times in an hour, and just in and out, in and out. And then when I got the job at the JW, I went in there like not knowing what to expect. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be working in the back. I'm just going to be making sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I got to work with a guy, and I know you know him, Dean. And Dean was a dude who had been cooking for years and running running kitchens for God knows how long. And when he got me in there, he reprogrammed me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a fast food place. It wasn't, just, quick in and out. No, like whatever you're making, it's like you are preparing it properly, because this is a representation of the hotel. There's a certain standard and caliber that the guest is expecting from what they're ordering. And it was great working with him, because it reprogrammed me in regards to like how I am in the kitchen. And mind you, I'm not anywhere near level that you are. I do standard style Spanish cooking here and there. I love being in the kitchen. I've always learned. I learned at a young age that like if you're cooking something, you don't leave the kitchen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I catch my girlfriend doing it all the time, and I just look at her and I look at the kitchen, and she's, oh yeah. And she goes back. But she's an amazing cook on her own.
So let me ask you this: like, how is cooking at your house? Like, you're doing all these prep menus. You're catering to executives. You're catering to all these people, and then like, what is it like when you get home? Like, are you making yourself a bologna sandwich, or like, what happens?
No. I mean, I treat like I mean, if you follow, I mean, you follow me on Instagram. A lot of the stuff you couldn't really you couldn't really tell the difference between if I'm eating out, if it's my food, or if it's a test plate that I do at home. I mean, I treat my home kitchen like it's professional kitchen, and it's a test kitchen. Like I'll start doing recipes or anything else. Like you open up my fridge right now, there's mise en place there in quart containers, labeled exactly like how it is at the restaurant. It's just one of those things. Like as soon as I decided to go down this road, I was like, I'm gonna live it completely. I mean, I got the tattoos and burns and scars and inside and out.
I see your finger is wrapped up from
a little bit. It's still attached, but it's just a little. I'm gonna remember that one. But yeah, I mean, my home kitchen is like the best. I would say it's like the best unknown gem in Orlando for the super elite 2 people VIP members of it. So
that's
very
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
I would love to introduce you to a group here in Orlando.
I was just thinking the same thing, actually.
Yeah, my buddy Billy and Jay, they're called the Kitchen Killers, and they do Friday shows where they perform live music, but there's a chef behind them, and they're prepping the food while the show's going on. In between songs, they talk to the chef, they talk to the guests, and they find out the journey of the beginning of the food to the end of the a presentation.
Yeah,
and I would love to get you in contact with them because I feel like you guys would have like a great chemistry and great just a great conversation.
It fits like the aesthetics, like if you're in a closed kitchen, most of the time you'll have somebody that with their cell phone in a hotel pan, like a kitchen speaker, which as we dub it, and and it'd be like, who's got the playlist today? And like, I mean, my shuffle it goes everything from Prince to Metallica to classical music. I mean, movie soundtracks.
It's the mood,
but yeah, it sets the mood. But like, you can see like the vibe is set, and everybody just kind of like, it's like a cadence that everybody starts like. Yeah, you really kind of feel this song, right? And if somebody's not really feeling it, you'd be like, yeah, and I'll just go on to the next one, I mean, it's just like if you hear something on the radio, be like, yeah, I really don't dig that right now.
Next. Yeah, not today.
I have a rather strange question. Sure. So I understand, I've heard through the grapevine, not about you specifically, but you like that some chefs like to go and work in other people's kitchens just for fun. Are you one of those people?
I always kind of fantasize, and I've talked to my girlfriend to an extent of this. I haven't done it a lot, but my fantasy about doing that is even broader spectrum, where I would love to go. We call it staging, go stage overseas somewhere.
Okay.
So like if we went to Japan, we went to Greece, and we were eating at all these places, and I would just tell her, like, I would really love to just cook here one day with chef. It's like that non-book knowledge,
right?
That you can't get from anywhere else except by being there.
Yeah.
I mean, culinary students, they have an externship, they get to do that, and then like with JW or anywhere else, like they have an opportunity to stay with the team or leave. I'm really happy with the team that I'm working with. But if I can go somewhere and like learn something or kind of diverse my talents and literally help out them, aside from either interpersonal or something like that, like, yeah, absolutely.
That's super cool, because I heard someone in Orlando crashed the kitchen like a week ago, and it was like the most fantastic thing, and I was just like, that's not true. It isn't true. And it wasn't true.
It'd be really hard to kind of like just show up and be like, hey, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be some sort of protocol that's followed. If not, you just have just an open door policy of anything.
Yeah, it was a very bizarre story. I didn't believe it, but
so
I mean, it could have happened in some regard. But.
Yeah, but the way the story goes, it's sort of it's like Guy Fieri wasn't here. He's at Rage.
So living Woodstock.
I know with the general public, when Hollywood portrays the kitchen, I gotta say, like, one of my favorite ones was the movie Waiting.
Yeah,
and
I'm front of house. Hi,
I worked at Bennigan's.
When this Bennigan's,
the one in Lake Buena Vista that closed.
Yep. The, Norwegian girls.
Yeah.
All right, we're friends now. We got history, kid.
But no, like it was funny because at that time.
I'm deeper rooted than you, bitch. This man made me onion rings, and then I got to taste Norway.
That's right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Somebody follow that Southwest sampler. He's got to go.
Oh, yeah. And then she jumped in the trunk of my car. We went inside. And
Oh my God.
this is not even live.
It was a lot like waiting. I mean, yeah,
completely.
Like,
and that's why this just happened, and we had an emotional connection.
We did.
For a moment.
No,
we know now a lot about each other.
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Yes, we do. That's why I'm here.
The reason why I brought up the movie is because it gave a depiction of how it is working in the restaurant industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bat wing.
Yeah, the back wing. And like the camaraderie.
The bat wing. Not back of house, bat wing.
The bat wing, yeah.
You want to see my bat wing?
No.
Okay, good.
Don't pull out the brain.
Or the goat. I will
Brain
kill you
is
if you bring out the goat.
Brain is tomorrow.
But like, no, as a chef, like, how do you feel like that? Did they capture it to a T in regards to like working in one of those style restaurants?
I mean, number one, I love Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he's hilarious. But like as a Hollywood depiction of that kind of style of restaurant and service in that era, I would say that it's pretty close. And it was shot in Florida, and it was very much like
was it shot at Bennigan's?
It had to have been. I mean, just the look and feel of it.
Yeah.
You're like, this is Bennigan's.
It's just Bennigan's.
I mean, we can say it because it doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't. There are similar ones around Daytona, which confuse me.
You're walking in. Have I been here before? But yeah, I mean, I would think like obviously it's Hollywood. You know, like there's obviously other things that happen in the kitchen that probably don't make it to the cutting, like make it to the silver screen, or vice versa. But like there's the one scene where like it's closing time and everybody like they're all like, you better not come in here, and the hostess comes in, sorry guys, and as soon as she leaves, all the cooks are like, what the I mean, that in itself 100%. The brain and bat wing, maybe not, or at least not in any kitchen that I've worked.
No, that's
you know,
stardom.
But like front of house, back of house relationships and all those other things. Yeah, like 100%.
Now, I had a better view on it once I started working at the JW because I'm like, oh wait, that's relatable. Oh my God, that's how it goes down and stuff like that.
So let me ask you a question, JW Jr. What did you do you said you worked at the pool bar, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Were you a bartender or were you a cook?
I was a cook.
Okay. And what did they have at the JW cooking pool shop?
So the cool thing was that Dean would have a brand new burger every day. Like it was a different special every day. And I remember walking in there, I would, the first thing you do is prep. That's all you got to do for about like 2 to 3 hours, whether it's a salad.
So you take tickets then?
No, it's prep.
Okay. Oh, you did prep. Okay.
I did prep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
And we had to have a certain amount of stuff to have ready because we knew what was going to happen. And then, the rush coming in at 12 o'clock, everyone wanting to eat, getting out of the pool and all that stuff.
Okay.
But it was fun because I was not allowed to go to certain parts of the kitchen. I wasn't allowed at the grill. I wasn't allowed at the fryer. I wasn't allowed here or there. They kept me at certain spots until
What spot? What was your spot?
I was in a prep area.
Okay.
So
the back table.
The back table.
Oh, so you were by yourself with
I was there.
Yeah.
That's a small kitchen.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, they brought me up to the, to the fryer, to the grill, and then like being able to do a lot more, experimental stuff with Dean and everything. But the reason like I was asking about the whole movie Waiting and how it was relatable to working in the food industry, a new show came out recently.
Yeah. Let's give it its proper title here.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing deserves massive applause.
Yeah. And I'm
drink cups again. That's all I've heard.
Quart containers are everybody's friend.
And I'm talking about the show The Bear on FX. It's a show.
Seen it. Haven't seen it. I know what he's talking about. Though.
If you haven't seen it, you gotta stop what you're doing, and after you listen to this podcast, you gotta stop what you're doing and watch this show, because if you've ever worked in the food industry, especially in the back kitchen, this show, like, I feel like hit it on the tee.
Yeah.
And there were parts of that show where like you saw the high end Michelin style. Top quality chef points. And I wanted to ask you because it hit certain points of it triggered a lot of memories for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, like, how did that show like come out at you?
I think like number one, like I mean, we mentioned before when we were getting ready to go live that there's a lot of the truisms for this show. Like the production value is through the roof. Not talking about money wise, but like these guys that went to other locations and cooked in other kitchens and really built the culinary knowledge to be as authentic on screen as possible shows.
Yeah.
Like when he's doing like, I mean, I'm horrible with names. You ask anybody, I'm really bad with them. But like the pastry, like making donuts and making the cakes and all these other things. As soon as like you open up pages to the book and putting them on the board, we all have like kind of dream boards and stuff like that, no matter what profession you are. But like the stuff that he was doing is pretty exacting, you know. Where we're talking about Noma and all these other places that are like world renowned. These guys staged at places to get to the level, not necessarily professional chef level per se, but I mean, I would invite them to my house and be like, hey, can we throw down? Because I guarantee they can. You know what I mean?
They
there
really
has to
understudied them.
They went in depth. Like I watched it and I was like, this is great. My girlfriend watched the first episode as the test and be like, okay, what do you think? Can we move forward with this thing? And if it's good, we'll watch the second episode right away. But during that episode, she started like Googling all the facts and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, this guy worked in here. Oh, guess what? I won't tell you where they worked. Will you figure it out like next episode? I'm just like, this is amazing. Like they went through it. And that was like the progression of like the Hollywood depiction. You went from like waiting. And there's like movies, especially like you went like Chef, Burnt, and all the like almost like quintessential ones. And like there's also like tongue in cheek ones or like some B movie stuff like that. But there's always like some sort of truism or some little gem that's like, you know what, that's real.
Yeah,
I put myself in that.
There was a scene, I think it was the second episode, where my God, it was the guy from Community. I'm trying to remember his name.
Never watched that either.
Jesus.
I'm no help.
Where the main character is cooking something and then the head chef comes in and he just starts talking to him in a sense where like he's bringing him down.
Yeah.
And
he's like this close to him, like super degrading.
Yeah. Now
that's the inspiring thing that keeps happening in comedy. Because the audience lets you know that you're eating the dick.
and that's
why I'm here for Pat.
When
aren't we both?
The kitchen is not a PG mindset.
No, it's not. Like you have to like number one, it's definitely not PG. And you have to have a pretty thick skin too.
Yeah.
Like in a closed kitchen, especially. I mean, it could be like waiting, or it could be like that scene in the second episode.
We had an open kitchen, and I still swore because I didn't give a shit.
I love working in open kitchens. I mean, it's very much like it's a stage. Yep. You know what I mean? And like you get to see everything, and it really kind of forces you to be like really, really polished, no matter if it's like quick service or fine dining or anything else. You know, everybody sees it. Like they can walk right up to the counter and check out what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then be like, you got to be dialed in, because if you're a mess or whatever, or like case in point, like if you don't look like you know what you're doing, the perception is 90% real that one guest thinks that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's
always right, because I fucked up the grits all the time.
Even though they were quick too, right?
No. It's like
stir the pot. Just
keep stirring. My fucking chicken is like defrosting over there. I'm staring at this 95-degree kitchen, and I'm just, who am I talking to here?
But there's always like
this guy's like, I was in Nam earlier.
But there's always, I mean, no one's perfect in the kitchen, which is the best thing. And like for those people that for the real like professionals in this industry to say like they've never messed up or anything else like that, one, you're lying. There's no way. I can go ahead. Like I pretty much dehydrated like 10 pounds of oyster mushrooms the other day.
Oh wow.
And I was
Jesus
like,
Christ.
And I was like, oh man, this is not good. And they were like, they still had some tooth to them, but I mean, they were edible, like for just like mushroom snacks, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I have to do something with it. I don't like wasting food. I don't like it. If I can compost it, sure. We don't have a composter. If I can recycle it in some way, shape, or form, do it. And I was like, I wonder what it's going to be like if I soak it in like just like teriyaki soy, apple juice, and other things like liquefy it and rehydrate it. And I dumped it in, I let it sit overnight. I came back and I literally like all the liquid was gone, and it tasted like texture of like a gummy bear.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
But I tasted this thing, I was like, this is an umami bomb. I'm like, this stuff is great. I immediately wrote it down. They're like, literally overcook oyster mushrooms, let soak this marinade overnight, serve with rice, noodle, whatever. And I was like, this is great.
Wow.
Hey, babe, you getting this? I might be able to eat mushrooms now. They taste like gummy bears. They don't taste like a fungus. I'll eat it, you know? I hate mushrooms, but I like everything around mushrooms. Like gravy. I like mushroom.
Gravy's
gravy.
good.
Yeah.
As long as you're not a plate separatist.
I will be the one that unites the food, not you.
Are you sure about that?
So now that we've understood everything that you've gone through, like how did you get to this specific point in regards to like being the executive chef for an NBA franchise?
I quite literally was in the right place at the right time.
Really?
Yeah. I came back. I disconnected myself from Marriott. Something happened. I won't go down that road.
Of course.
But fortunate for me, like I reached out to a whole bunch of people that I used to work with, and I've got a job working back with the Levy Corporation in Lakeland with my old chef. She's like, yeah, we're going to do this and this and this. So I immediately roll in, and it was like her and one other person and myself, and she needed a lot of help. So we cleaned, polished, like really, really spit shined the place out, developed processes, and really and kind of got a hold on a little bit of elevated food and service for that location itself. I was doing a support at for the Cheez-It Bowl right here at Camping World Stadium.
I love it already.
Yeah, right. And it was literally like where I walk in, I'm like, all right, so where's the plethora of Cheez-Its? Because I mean, if we're gonna do it, I want at least a bag in my pocket. You know, like Napoleon Dynamite. No, I don't want tots. Give me some Cheez-Its.
I want
now.
A quart container full of Cheez-Its.
Exactly.
Keep talking.
Right?
Keep talking.
Yes.
So we're working, and the little birdie told me like a couple of days before that there's a new opportunity coming out for this new training facility for the Orlando Magic. And I was like, oh, really? Oh my God. Yes.
Very nice.
This is going to be like my appetizer for dinner.
I thought you were talking, I need to take a shit, and you come back with Cheez-Its. I love it. What are you going to bring me, Santa?
Regret.
And
it was
late.
Like, I forget what I was doing. I think I was just like cooking an obscene amount of pasta.
Okay.
And I thought, I was like, I really want to have the conversation. Like, I want to throw my hat in the ring, like right away. I think I would I'm jumping at this opportunity, and I don't know who's going up against me or whatever, but we can go toe to toe, because at that caliber, or like they're going to be looking for somebody that knows exactly what they're doing, can bring something to the table, develop themselves, develop the team, and for the future of the organization. I'm like, this checks all my boxes. And then all of a sudden, like one of the chefs came over. He's like, I need to talk to you about something.
Can I chime in here?
Yeah.
I really hope that the next thing you say is that you're alone and the Amway is dark, and all of a sudden lights come on,
Bing.
and then Alton Brown comes out and goes, "Time to iron." I watched it 2 days ago, so that's why you have such visual description. Did that happen?
In my mind, yeah.
Excellent.
Like completely. It was very much like, here's my time. Like, this is it.
You have 60 minutes to cook braised lamb.
Yeah, go.
Go. You got to use chitlins.
Let's do it. But that like moment in time, it was just like, yes, now, like, all right, this is really going to happen. I'm really going to get this. Meanwhile, I'm still working in Lakeland.
Yeah.
So like traveling back and forth, and it was a good like hour away. So back and forth, hear nothing. I'm still like trying to talk, like get in front of it.
When you and I were talking about this, you're like, hey, I got something.
Yeah. When I saw you the first time, I got something
right
brewing, and I was like, I might be
the
executive chef. And because I haven't heard anything else, you know, I didn't want to put I literally went all into this thing. And it was like a couple like days later, just out of the blue, they called, like the chef called me and said, hey, can you come to the arena for a sit down? I'm like, this is it. This is my interview. And now I gotta bring my knife bag. I gotta bring everything.
Yeah.
No. Came in, talked, met everybody. Yeah, great. Okay. Shook hands. Like, is that it? Like, I don't have to cook anything. Like, you don't want me to cook for you? Like us as chefs, like for an interview, like you can talk all you want and everything. Like, here's my resume. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about who you are as a person, where you see food, everything else like that. But it was like all the other times during the interview process, you cooked. I didn't cook.
Holy crap.
It was like, yeah, you're it. I sat down. Alex Martin sits like two chairs away from me. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Pretty good, Alex. How are you? Nice to see you again. Yeah, you too. Are we going to do this thing? Heck yeah, we are.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's
and now
amazing.
is now. I got a big, shiny, brand new building to play around with. Man, it's going to be, I mean, I told everybody, like, as soon as I signed that paperwork, I told everybody, I was like, Orlando, my mission is to make Orlando Magic the best fed organization in the NBA.
That's
one,
a big declaration.
From quality of food and nutritional forward. And there's other things that like go along with that, because I mean, we are the Orlando Magic. So like transparency is key. So like recycling, like down the road, I want to be like recycling efforts, green energy, reduce carbon footprint, all these other things that like the industry is going in, like has been going in that direction.
Right.
And a lot of other people has been driving that food forward attitude. And I think in this, no pun intended, in this arena that I'm working at now is a perfect time to be like, to implement, not necessarily change, but implement that, that culture for not only our players, the city and anybody else that'll either pay attention or look.
Absolutely. And Orlando is one of those places that if you shine bright enough,
yeah,
that they will pay attention to you to put you in a magazine.
I thought you were going this way.
Place podcaster at Barnes and Nobles for $5.99.
But I mean, this place, I mean, the city of Orlando has changed.
I broke him.
People like that.
He did not know that was coming.
I was really hoping that you were going to go down that road.
I was like,
here it
is
comes.
this going to happen?
Here it comes.
Do I have my moment to bring it back?
Bingo. You could.
I'm going to. I'm totally going to.
Honestly, dude, the story and the progression of going from where you are, from the cities you've gone to, what markets have you worked in other than Orlando? And I believe you said you did work in some New York and Miami. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you worked in any other?
Started in New Jersey.
Did you work in a gas station in Jersey where people complained that it wasn't their day off?
No, I was the guest there. I went there.
So you got the new.
So I got to from the other side, right?
Right. You got the boiled peanuts. I see.
Yeah, and really, really good blueberries and raspberries too. That I worked on a farm. I remember that like it was yesterday. Because it's all. I mean, it was one of those things like quality food. So you really source the best ingredient. I just remember these golden raspberries that I would have to go pick like pints of, and people would just come up, yeah, here you go, and they would grab them, like, okay, thank you, and I'm like, I just hope you don't buy all of them, so I can have one to take home. And like we were talking about like watermelon, and we're like, yeah, this fruit. I'm like, okay, well, I'm really hoping, is it seedless? Is it yellow? Because yellow watermelon is delicious.
I just found out about yellow watermelon like not even 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I just found out about watermelon steak. Has anybody heard about that?
Yeah. And watermelon ham.
Is it ham? It's called ham?
Yeah, you cook it the same way as ham.
Okay. All right.
You know,
See,
me personally, I would just eat watermelon.
Yeah.
See, now I have even more questions about what the hell you guys are talking about.
We can go down. I mean, I was talking about at work. I was talking about making a watermelon kimchi using an adaptation of Sean Brock's recipe for watermelon molasses and pickled watermelon rind, and really forcefully marry them together.
My mouth is just salivating right there with everything.
Yeah, I haven't eaten today, and I'm gonna have a taco after this. At least it's gonna have bang bang chicken on it, not just sad ground beef.
But like how you said, like this city itself gives opportunity for, like, if you do it well enough, you can shine. And I think I'm coming back to Orlando at a perfect time where, I mean, I left when I-4 expansion was starting. I'm back when it's finished, and still going. At least this part of the express lane is done. But I mean, like I'm driving, I'm relearning and just rediscovering places that I didn't know before, or because I was working so much
Yeah.
that I was like, I didn't get to go down Mills and 50 a lot. I didn't get to go like through Ivanhoe or any of these other places. And there's other connections that I still have harvest really to be like, my buddy Nick, he's working over at the biscuit company that's over there. My other friend, he's over here and over here. And so I would just, oh yeah, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working over here. All right. Me and Sequoia, we're going to go there for lunch on the weekend or something like that. Or like after work, we'll go have a cocktail and have some hors d'oeuvres, this and that.
If you don't
But
like him,
it
go
shies.
to him on Sunday brunch. You know,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
see him sweat.
Or just kind of go someplace that you hear about
Right.
with a whole bunch of friends and they're like, this is really, really good. You know, you have to go here. And a lot of those places didn't exist originally when I was living here, but now they're like everywhere.
Yeah. I'm really sad. There is one place that closed that I absolutely loved, and it was in.
Don't say Bennigan's.
It's not bad. Well, different memories. It was over in Pine Hills off of Gore, I believe it was. It was this soul food place, and it was so good. But it's been a number of years that I can't remember. And the only reason I knew about it is because I was a delivery driver and we would have to drive over there every once in a while to pick up this food. And when we did, we would drive it from downtown, go all the way down there, and then drive it to iDrive. So I knew it was good. People were willing to pay $60, $70 for the delivery. Just
Holy
out of. So I know this place was good. And then I finally had it and I was like, people need to know about this.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I can't remember it,
Right.
It's not there anymore. I know that, but
like we were looking when moving back to Orlando, we were looking immediately. We were like, okay, where's Publix? Where do we situate ourselves? Cause I mean, we got really used to, I mean, my girlfriend used to live in New York. I lived in Brooklyn, worked in Manhattan. And then living and working in the greater part of Miami, like we walked everywhere, you know? So we're like, that's me. Sorry.
You're good.
So we're like, all right, well, where do we fit in the city? Cause I mean, Orlando is sprawling.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
You know, it's the
like what kind of inner city or something like that? Do we go Lake Eola? Do we go do we want to be like downtown? And we found this spot, like really like right down the street. And then we're looking at Google Maps. I'm like, oh man, like we're right down the street from Reyes. I remember Chef when she opened and she was on iDrive. Now, like Reyes is like 10 times bigger, better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm going like right after here and
Really?
saying hi and having a beverage.
Ironically, I'm going to be right next door.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
nice.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. But no.
But like there's a sushi place that's right down the street. That's really good.
Good too.
Yeah.
I did not expect
Yeah.
like
No. And
unbelievable.
like even further down the street, I was fortunate enough to see when Dovecote opened. Me and my
Never
friend
been.
went there, and
That's
it
nice.
was really, really good. It changed hands. I think it changed hands a couple of times. Still very quality, but they expanded so much. Whereas before, I'm like, oh man, I looked at their menu, still sounds good. As long as they have the chicken liver mousse on their menu, which probably will never leave, I'll be happy, you know. And then like you go like even continuing down the road, or you make a left and you go to like Robinson Tea House. I mean, my friend is the chef there. I mean, there's other things that like popped up, and key people that have been given the opportunity to shine are really doing amazing things in the city.
That's amazing,
Dude. That Jason, honest to God, thank you so much. I know this setup. We talked about this for a couple of weeks, and we were finally able to get this done. And it was so worth the freaking wait, because I got to learn so much about you and so much about like the journey for you getting to where you are. And I'm so happy for you, because you freaking deserve it. And I see great things coming for the Orlando Magic, for not just the Magic, but for the city of Orlando.
I see a lot of good things happening for the players who eat at the Orlando Magic. ESPN says differently. So
I want to, like, the best thing would be like to watch ESPN and be like, just to hear something like
holy shit,
something in the
food's
water
good.
or something, like what are they feeding these guys or something, or any kind of thing like that. But I mean, kudos to you too, man. I mean, for more than a decade we've known each other, and like I mean, we joke about it now, but I mean, for real, like you were doing things too. So,
Dude, thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Even though it is only third place in the Barnes Noble, but still, it's definitely worth a round of applause.
Oh man, but Jason, as we're wrapping up, man, like, what are your final thoughts? Anything you want to say, plug, or just get off your chest?
Just come to Orlando. Like, anybody that doesn't live here, just come here. Like, give the city a chance. You know, Disney itself is evolving. There's definitely a lot of chefs that are coming over here and doing really, really good things to change the spectrum and the believability that we're more than just where the mouse lives and works.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to try new places. Like, give it a shot. You know, we'll be really surprised by something that looks a little off-putting. Behind those doors. Like, it could be the best meal of your life. You won't know it until you actually take the risk.
Food trucks, man.
Do it.
It's too much around here. I remember Korean taco box thing, and now they have their own brick and mortar and all that kind of stuff for all these indie places. It's amazing. It's fantastic, dude. I've gained a lot of insight, and thanks for the memories for Bennigan's.
Brings back memories.
It does. It really does.
But no, thank you to our guest, Jason. I keep saying Jason Shapiro, executive chef to the Orlando Magic, for coming out here chatting with us for a little bit. Aaron, what are your final thoughts as we're about to start the weekend?
I actually have something to plug in addition to this week, where it's just hammer after hammer for me. Tomorrow night, I am doing a spot at Bloodhound Brew. Over on Kirkman Road. I am opening for Marcus Crespo and the other guy's name is eluding me. Give me just 1 second because I'm not going to fault any comics. It's hosted by Eddie Sass. He's fun. He's a lot of fun. And it's just amazing that all these spots keep coming. This is how we kill time. And Dan Venti.
Ooh.
And Dan Venti is our feature for the evening. So me and Crespo go way back. He's my comedy dad. So this is going to be one of those shows where I'm going out to impress. So
that's a good venue too.
It is. It's very good. I love the food.
You've got good tacos right in that same plaza too.
And I had a burger last night. Changed my life.
From Bloodhound. Or go right across the street to Bubba Lou's right there, right?
I Bubba Lou's out. I ate a lot of Bubba Lou. I'm barbecued.
Some like Orlando's very divided. Either Four Rivers or you're not.
It doesn't bother me.
No.
I like Porky's and Apopka.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Porky's. You got the one down there. CC's. Is CC still there?
I don't think so.
No. Fat Boys in Kissimmee has some pretty good barbecue.
Fat Boys is pretty good.
You know what?
I've competed against Fat Boys. They're pretty good.
Nice.
I'm looking for, if any of you guys, this is part of the interactive part of my show. I need good places to eat around town, and money is not an issue when it comes to food for me, because I will eat what I want. And, if I want to go to Crest Steakhouse on a Thursday night and dine by myself, I fucking will.
Yeah.
And my question is this: if you guys have a place that is so off the wall, off the beaten path, and you guys know about it and I don't, tell me about it so I can finally learn something new about Orlando, because my Netflix list is boring and I need to get out more. So help me out here, guys.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
My final thoughts right now, taking everything that Jason had said, keep your eyes open, because you never know when the opportunity for something greater might be in front of you. Take the chance. Don't be afraid. Even if you fail, at least you tried, because you will always miss 100% of the shots that you take.
Except love. Go ahead. Continue.
But with that being said, if you're not laughing, you're not living. Live every day to the fullest, but always do it
with a side of chaos. Now on Twitter. See you next time.
See you later, guys.